This is BNG TV.
We're going to save the best for last. I want to get your breakdown on Michigan State last. I already know who you're going to pick. I want to hear your breakdown last. Let's start with the Lions and the Rams. We've only got 2 games to talk about this week because Michigan State facing off in Ann Arbor. Let's start with this Lions-Rams game. A lot more interesting than I would have thought it would have been about 8 days ago. After seeing what they did in Green Bay, all of a sudden this is an interesting game to me.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, we having gone over to the Green Bay game and seen it live and seen what opportunity they had and what opportunities, quite frankly, they created for themselves to be in position that they could have won that football game. I hate that they're 0-4. And, you know, you talk about the Rams kind of being in the same position the last couple of years. They're 2-2. I mean, they're playing some football. So I don't think this is a shoo-in by any means. And I hate to use the term a must-win, but they got to get a victory. I mean, they just have to get a victory. And they have an opponent that they can beat. They could have beaten a couple of their opponents, and they've been in position to do that. But
they did beat Chicago.
Everywhere I go. Last night, I was at the Boys and Girls Club. We had a steak and burger dinner. Great thing, great kids, the whole deal. And what do you end up talking about afterwards? That play.
The decompletion.
Yeah, the decompletion. So
didn't finish the process.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think this is a game that you got to get off the schneid, and it'll be gut-wrenching. I think tomorrow's game is going to be fun. It's an in-state rival, and it's going to be a good game, et cetera. I think Sunday is going to be, in my mind, if it doesn't go the right way, is going to be even more gut-wrenching because those guys, you heard it in the locker room, they got a ton vested, and they do believe in their coach. I think all that talk's a bunch of garbage. I was down on the sidelines last week. Jim Schwartz has command of that football team. They love that guy. He certainly does carry. I love the quote of he carries himself with authority, but he's very approachable, and that's huge in a locker room, especially at the professional level. So for Jim Schwartz, Martin Mayhew, all the people, all the Lions organization, I feel like I'm vested. I want a win for them because there's a lot of good people that are trying to help get them over the hump. But you got to have a win. I mean, for goodness sakes, you got to get a win. And this particular weekend, I think, is as big as any weekend they'll have because there's that opportunity.
I look at it this way. With our interview with Nate Burleson, even talking to John Jansen, who's no longer with the team, but to Ty's point, he was in that locker room. We've talked all along about Kyle Vanden Bosch, what he means. This is part of the reason of why this is a different Detroit Lions team. These guys are still saying the right things. They still believe in this team. They still believe in their coach. They deserve a victory more than anyone else out there, and I think that's going to show through, and they're going to prove Detroit right. They're going to capitalize off of the excitement around football in general this weekend with Michigan State. I truly believe that. We were having fun with Jim Schwartz a little bit, and they're going to win at home. Remember, this has been a brutal schedule for them, the way to start.
Yeah.
One home game. And they had a chance to win that with Michael Vick in Philadelphia. They will do it. They're going to get to Sam Bradford. They're going to create some pressure. They're going to force some turnovers. And they're going to get opportunities, and Sean Hill's not going to disappoint with this offense. They're going to get it done.
Yeah, 31-24, I see it. And I tell you why, too, another thing, Linehan now, I don't know if he must be listening to Bakita and Gray. I mean, I guarantee you Jim Schwartz is telling him to listen to the program. What do we say? Start moving Kelvin Johnson around.
Right.
I was so pumped up in the stands at Lambeau Field. Kelvin Johnson was an X, he was a Z, he was a W, he lined up in some Y positions. I mean, the bottom line is obviously all different positions inside and out and getting him the football. Okay? And he spread it around. So to me, offensively, those guys are very strong. They have a strong front, four. And I want that win as much as any win this weekend. I really do. I'm telling you. You just get vested in this team, and seeing it live or seeing it on TV, the effort, the energy, and how hard those guys are working, I hope they get one.
27-21, by the way, is my score for the Lions, and this is a perfect opponent for them to have because they came in and won last year. There's a little bit of that going on for those guys that are carrying
Absolutely. Remember, that was a game they were supposed to win last year.
No, without a doubt. We've got our show producer and, in this current segment, cameraman. Look for the show picks.
Michigan Homer.
Another edition.
Hey, Joe, by the way, where'd you graduate from?
Grand Valley State.
Yeah, GVSU. All right, baby. Yeah, they got a night game homecoming. You going?
Easy does it there. The co-host for
Where did he go to school?
The co-host for your
yeah, but he's a rarity. He's a rarity.
Really?
You don't have a ton of Spartan jump-ons. No, most of them got a degree from there.
That's weird because there are two of them that host this show, Bentley and Bakita.
Get on YouTube and get your Pure Michigan spoof. Do that. YouTube that little baby.
I saw it. I got
that was you with the mullet. You got to cut off, didn't you, Michael?
I rocked a mullet for a lot longer than I care to admit. But, I had that thing posted to my Facebook page about 1,000 times by angry Spartan fans. You know, that is the one thing I will say before we get to the Spartan thing, because we got to get to your Lions pick in a second. But I've heard Spartan fans cry and moan about arrogant Michigan fans and, you guys are just, you talk smack, you do this, you do that. Ever since Michigan fell off when Rich Rod came in and they've had this disastrous 2-year stretch, I've heard more smack from Sparty than anywhere. And it's the same thing that I heard the complaints about for 10 years, up to and including the point where online on our Facebook page we have a battle going because you got Spartan fans wishing for an injury to Denard Robinson.
Yeah, which is wrong.
And then other Spartan fans stepping up going, well, don't do that. You know, let's beat these guys with all their weapons because we don't want to hear the excuses. Clockgate and all that.
Yeah, well, all kinds of Desmond Howard's catch and no catch.
I'm curious
when he tripped over Eddie Brown. Yeah,
I'm curious to hear where you're going with the Lions.
I'm actually going to take them 28-20.
Joe.
That makes it unanimous. I've got the Lions winning, but by 10 or more. I think this is a statement game. I think they come out. They're a better team. I haven't been able to say that all year. I have not picked the Lions once all year to win. Lions are better than the Rams. They're the better team.
All right,
that brings us to the big game. Ann Arbor, Saturday, 5-0 Spartans, 5-0 Wolverines. You guys will be at Twisted Rooster. You can come join me before the game. Get your grub on at Alan Bob's. I'll be out from 9 until noon with the grilling guys. We're going to have the coals going and all kinds of deals. Get you out hunting. I know you haven't been out yet. I've only gotten out once.
I know. I'm trying to get out once tonight, but we'll see how Jennifer approves or disapproves of that plan.
She'll be out of the house now, and you told her to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he's in charge at home.
At least
He's the only unmarried guy in the room. Trust me, there's one of us that gets to make a decision.
And now you floated that balloon out on radio, so hope that works out for you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I love you, honey.
It always does for Michael and I.
All right. Break down the Spartans-Wolverines game. Tell me why your Spartans are going to win.
Well, early in the week, I was, I think, like Bakita. I was all twisted and turned, and you like to think of a bunch of different things. But you know what? Having gone back and we rewatched the Wisconsin game, I think Michigan State's playing good, solid football. I think they're peaking at the right time, if you will. They're on, all cylinders go, offense, defense, and special teams. That's what it takes to win, and they're playing an opponent who has the best player in the country, bar none. Denard Robinson is the Heisman Trophy winner, and there is nobody even close behind him. You can talk Ingram from Alabama and all that's all baloney. The Heisman Trophy is about the best player in any given year, and Denard Robinson is hands down that guy. And I wish him luck the whole way, but I hope he gets destroyed tomorrow. I don't want him hurt, but I hope he throws 15 interceptions. He gets his shoes taken off about 14 times, and Greg Jones eats him for breakfast and lunch and dinner. But I just think if from a break it down standpoint, I just think Michigan State's too balanced. I think that if they play and assimilate to what their head coach is and his demeanor, that has continued to be and is evident even in his absence, I think Michigan State wins this ball game. And I don't think, everyone's talking about, 45, 50 points and all this stuff. I don't see that. I see like a 27-24 type victory for Michigan State. I still see it close. I see Denard Robinson making some big plays, and hopefully those are minimized by a solid Michigan defense led by Greg Jones. But I think when you have a situation like last week to me was a big, big test for Michigan State. I was not I picked them in a close one last week, but I tell you what, it was I felt like I was reaching a little bit because they hadn't played as well yet. And last week they showed me some stuff. And I think so long as Kirk Cousins makes some good decisions, I just think Michigan State's a better ball club in all three phases. And certainly the rivalry thing makes you think about it, and the X factor in Denard makes you think. But I just think Michigan State's a better ball club, and you can't have that poor a defense and not so good special teams in a game like this where it's going to be tight and expect to come out with a victory. That's just my opinion.
There's Spartan fans out there that are going to be conflicted with my pick because I went against him at Notre Dame, Went against him in Wisconsin. I'm on record for that. I'm sure people want me to go against him because then it'd be maybe 3-0 with that logic. My scales were finally tipped yesterday. Kirk Cousins appeared on the Jim Rome Show, did a fantastic job. I'm going karma there. And I also am going Kirk Cousins because I don't think he's had, and I know you've been high on him, I don't think he's had that big-time win. You know, you go back to the Notre Dame interception, you go back to different things in his career. He's a good quarterback, but he hasn't had that statement moment, I think, yet as the starter for Michigan State. I think that comes tomorrow for Kirk Cousins.
I think you saw a little bit of it last week, and that's kind of my point. I think they're hitting at the right time, and this is his opportunity. I mean, obviously, I still say he's one of the, if not the best quarterback in the Big Ten, and you got to show it in big games. This is the stage, the Big House, Ann Arbor on the road. Big deal for him.
As I say that, I don't think that they slow down Denard Robinson. I think their defense will be challenged all day. I see a late field goal, Michigan State 38-35.
Joseph.
All right, Ty, you gave me some crap. Hold this camera. You have me in my Michigan shirt, and I will go on record on saying I'm rooting for Michigan, but I'm taking Michigan State to win this game, to be honest. Yes. And they're going to win it 28-24. I don't think Michigan's defense has enough to stop them.
I've thought about this all damn week.
There you go,
all week, and it all comes down to intangibles. For me, it comes down to the X factor. This game is always weird. It was weird last year. Michigan had no business being in overtime with Michigan State last year, none at all. Michigan State struggles against spread offenses. Yep. There's nobody that's hitting on better cylinders than Michigan with this offense right now, and that's everybody, not just Denard. You've got the fact that you're going to have 114,000 people in that stadium, making life hard for Kirk Cousins. You're talking about audibles and him calling things at the line. Going to be difficult to do with all of that noise. And I don't see Michigan State altering their game plan enough to exploit the big weaknesses of Michigan. You can pass all over Michigan, but you got to do it like Indiana did. You got to throw it 63 times. That is not Michigan State's MO. They stubbornly stay to that run. Michigan's okay against the run. That's probably being generous. They're not great by any stretch of the imagination, but they're damn sure better against the run than they are against the pass. They've lost to Michigan State 2 years in a row. I can't take another year of Spartan fans giving me crap. I need a Michigan win. It's the only pick I've made all year with my heart. I'm picking the Wolverines. Somebody's got it.
What's the score? Give me a score.
38-30.
We're done here. Akita and Gray, morning 6 to 9.